Most of you probably know what this is. It's an hourglass. It's how people used to keep time. The sand would be in the top and it just gradually falls down. For this session, I want you to imagine that this hourglass represents the life of your child between the ages of 5 and 15. This 5-15 portal is the decade-long stretch where growth is rapid, identity is forming, and the habits of a lifetime are being shaped. But there's one thing that most parents don't realize. This isn't just time, it's a portal that goes away. That's what we're going to be talking about in this very important session. Welcome to Kid Lead.
Welcome to another edition of Kid Lead Academy Training Series with Dr. Alan E. Nelson, designed to help parents develop their children to lead so they can succeed. And now, here's Alan.
The word portal comes from the Latin word porta, meaning gate. In ancient architecture, it referred to the grand entrance to something sacred, often a cathedral or palace. Think about it, a tall arched doorway, carved with care and purpose, drawing you into a space of significance. Well, the 515 portal is just like that. It's not merely a phase in your child's life, it's a gateway into who they are becoming. Once they pass through, the door closes behind them. You can't go back and say, hey, let's recreate this unique developmental soil so that you can learn to lead most effectively. No, by then, the sand has run out, and their identity as a follower or a leader has largely been formed. So before we move forward, take one last look at this hourglass and ask yourself the question, are we just counting time, or are we making time count? You see, leadership isn't a switch we flip between 30 or 40. It's a seed we plant and tend to between ages 5 and 15. So let's talk a little bit about this 515 portal. The 515 portal is a time-bound opportunity. It's 10 years when a child's brain, heart, and character align for optimal learning, especially when it comes to leadership. This isn't just poetic, it's practical. You see, age 5 is a cultural milestone recognized across the world. It's when most public education systems begin formal schooling. At 5, a child is seen as ready to enter a classroom, follow instructions, interact socially, and start understanding how the world works beyond their home. And that's no coincidence. Leadership at its core is a social skill. It involves working with others, solving problems together, managing emotions, and communicating clearly. What better time to begin developing those muscles than the very moment society already acknowledges a child is developmentally ready to engage in structured social learning. On the other end of the portal is age 16, another societal milestone. In most places, 16-year-olds can get a driver's license, be legally hired for a job, and start taking their big first steps toward independence. Emotionally and socially, they begin leaning more on friends than family. They're building identity, just not necessarily from the voice of their parents anymore. That's why the window from 5 to 15 is so important. It's when your influence is strongest. It's when they're open, curious, and still looking to you to help shape how they see the world and their place in it. Once they pass through that cathedral doorway at 16, they're not gone, but the way they listen changes. Their world gets louder and your voice competes with many others. That's why we start at 5, not to push them ahead, but to plant seeds while the soil is most fertile. Let's look at some of the science behind this window. What makes this portal so developmentally rich? Well, one is cognitive plasticity. A 2018 study published in Developmental Cognitive Neuroscience found that the prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control, undergoes rapid maturation during middle childhood. This is the perfect time to introduce leadership tools like problem solving, goal setting, and collaboration. A second reason is social and emotional intelligence. Research from the Collaborative for Academic Social and Emotional Learning shows that children who develop strong social and emotional skills between ages 5 and 14 are more likely to succeed in school, relationships, and even career environments. Empathy, influence, and teamwork are core leadership qualities. They're all built here. And the third thing is identity formation and agency. Developmental psychologist Erik Erikson described the 5 to 12 age range as a time when children begin to ask, am I capable? Can I contribute? When we give kids leadership roles, whether in chores, peer groups, or community projects, they learn that they can lead. So why does this portal matter so much? Well, let me give you 3 more reasons why the 515 portal is not just another developmental phase, but the most fertile time for leadership growth. One is that mindset is moldable. You see, children are naturally curious, open, and less bound by ego. It's easier to teach humility, responsibility, and courage before the social pressures of late adolescence settle in. A second reason is that habits are still forming. What's practiced between 5 and 15 tends to become second nature. As Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And a third reason is that identity is emerging. You see, between 5 and 15, kids start asking, who am I? When we intentionally include leadership in that answer, we set them on a trajectory that includes confidence, contribution, and character. So that leads us to a big question: what can you do today? Well, this isn't a message meant to make you anxious. It's a wake-up call wrapped in opportunity. Start small. Give your child a leadership role at home, like organizing a family night or helping a younger sibling with homework. You can talk like a coach. Use questions like, what do you think we should do? Or how would you handle that if you were the leader? And the third thing is get trained. Even if you're a leader yourself, chances are rare that you've learned how to develop leaders when they're very, very young. We offer the world's only online parenting course designed to help you develop your child's leadership potential. It's called Kid Lead Academy, a 7-hour class with 10 to 20 minute videos that take you step by step through the process of learning what you need to know. It's practical and it's based on our work since 2005. You're not alone in this endeavor. Let me tell you a little story as we wrap up in this episode. I'm in my 60s, but I'll never forget as an 8-year-old one morning, about 7:30, I heard this honk. I looked out my window and there I saw my school bus. You see, because every morning, Monday through Friday, Dawn Barry would have a big yellow bus in front of my house and I'd go on and get on the bus. But for some reason, that morning, my folks forgot to wake me up. They always did, but we all slept in. And I looked out the window and I'd missed the bus. Well, that's the only time I missed the bus. I was always up and ready thereafter. You see, missing a school bus might not change your life, but missing the 515 portal, well, that's something else. You see, that's the equivalent of missing out on teaching your child lifelong skills. Skills like how to inspire others, resolve conflict, make tough decisions, and persevere when things get hard. Leadership isn't about titles. It's about influence. And the influence begins early. Shh, hear that? I think the bus is coming down the road. Don't miss it.